The ad in the paper was a lifesaver, an old rental, cheap, right by campus. Perfect for a bunch of students just trying to get by. We moved in on a bright, sunny afternoon, full of optimism and plans for the upcoming semester. The landlord was a bit strange, insisted we install a security camera in the living room. For your safety, he said with a smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. We didn't think much of it. It was just a small black dome on the ceiling, a tiny blinking red light, our only sign it was even on. We felt safe, watched over. We were so wrong. The first few weeks were a blur of classes, late-night study sessions, and cheap takeout. Life was normal, until it wasn't. I was up late one night, cramming for a midterm, when I noticed the time. 2:17 a.m. The house was dead silent, an unsettling kind of quiet that makes the hair on your arms stand up. My eyes drifted up to the security camera. The little red light was blinking, steady as a heartbeat. A cold dread washed over me, a primal feeling that we were not alone. I shook it off, blaming sleep deprivation and too much caffeine. But that feeling, that chilling certainty, it never really left. The next morning, my roommate, Sarah, was acting weird. She'd been the one to set up the camera feed on her laptop. She was pale, her hands trembling as she pointed to the screen. "You need to see this," she whispered. On the live feed, the living room was empty, bathed in the grey light of dawn. But when she switched to the motion-activated recordings from the night before, my blood ran cold. The timestamp was 2:17 a.m. In the center of the dark, grainy image of our living room stood a figure. It was a tall, unnaturally thin silhouette, a void of blackness against the shadows. It wasn't one of us. It just stood there, motionless, an obsidian statue in the heart of our home. We tried to rationalize it. A glitch, a trick of the light, a shadow from a passing car. But we couldn't shake the fear. Curiosity, or maybe morbid fascination, got the better of us. We decided to dig deeper, to check the camera's older cloud storage. The landlord had given us the password, almost as if he wanted us to look. The archives went back years. We clicked on a random file, dated 5 years prior. The footage was grainy, the quality lower. It showed a young woman, her face contorted in terror, backing away from something off-screen. Then a shadow detached itself from the wall behind her. It wasn't her shadow. It was darker, colder. It engulfed her, and she collapsed, a dark stain spreading across the wooden floor beneath her. We slammed the laptop shut, gasping for air. We found more. Dozens of files, each one a different tragedy, a different life cut short in this very house. A man falling down the stairs, seemingly pushed by an unseen force, a student having a fatal seizure, a shadowy hand resting on their shoulder. Each incident was recorded, timestamped, archived. The camera wasn't for our safety. It was a witness, a silent archivist of death. After that discovery, things escalated. It started small, objects moving on their own, doors slamming shut in empty hallways, whispers echoing from vacant rooms. Then it got worse. One of my roommates slipped on a wet spot that wasn't there a second before, breaking his arm. Sarah started having night terrors, waking up screaming about a tall man in the corner of her room. We were trapped in a cycle of fear, prisoners in our own home, constantly watched by that unblinking red eye. We knew we had to leave, but we were paralyzed by a fear so profound it felt physical. We decided to pack up and leave in the morning under the safety of daylight. That night, we all huddled together in the living room, too scared to be alone. We eventually drifted into an exhausted, uneasy sleep. 5 of us sprawled out on the couches and floor. The little red light on the camera kept blinking. 2:15 a.m. 2:16 a.m. At exactly 2:17 a.m., the live feed showed the 5 of us sleeping fitfully. Then, from the darkest corner of the room, a 6th figure began to emerge. A tall, thin silhouette, slowly coalescing from the shadows. It stood there for a moment, a silent observer. And then, very slowly, it began to turn its head, its featureless face moving to look directly into the camera lens. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tales from the shadows. And remember, some things are better left unseen.